So, Chris, can you, we talked earlier about a little bit about GPS and the other programs that we had, et cetera. And we're talking about this new program that we have called Teach and Lead. Can you give us, what would you say, if you had to give it a nutshell, what is it? What makes this a bit different?
I think it's just an evolution of everything that we've done before. Yeah. We've done GPS for a while. We've done in-person classes, online classes. And I think this is just an evolution of everything that's worked before and the things that we thought could work a little bit better. And we've created this program, this kind of quite fast-hitting, fast results program. It's interesting, Chris. I was doing some prep work for a big brand that I'm doing some education with early next year, and we're planning it already. And one of the things that they wanted to talk about was how do we reach out to Generation Alpha, Gen Alpha, this new generation of people that are coming up, who are currently turning around 20, 24 years old at the minute now. And it was saying, that this generation, they don't focus, they don't pay attention, they can't stay engaged. And we had this conversation that we've had, Chris, that really, you and I think that's a little BS, to be honest, because it's just that people are becoming more discerning now with how they learn. I think people are still engaged, they're still focused, whether you're 25 or whether you're 55 or 65, it doesn't matter. You're still focused and engaged if the information is relevant, if it's impactful, if it fixes the problems that you have, and most importantly, if it gets you the results that you're looking for. And I think that's what this program does. Yeah. We're going to have a set curriculum, a set program that you're going to work through. But instead of going through all the kind of preliminary stuff first, like all the, all that stuff that you have to get through before you get to the meat of it all and what have you, we're going to get straight in it. So I think, from day one, week one, minute one, we're going to be right in it, delivering information that people can use the very next day. That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, and to that point, and I'm really excited about this as well, and particularly because of I'm sure anybody can understand that anytime you evolved as a haircutter, evolved as a colorist, evolved as a presenter, you always get better at everything you do, and that's what I'm super excited about, putting all of that stuff together in this. And you said something that was really, really impactful, I think, in a second ago, is that you've got this new kids coming along. And now I'll give you an example. This last weekend, I was away at doing a program with sales consultants. And, and they've talked about, and I'd like you to speak to just a little bit about this, is they talked about COVID and how that hit. And he said, because this was what it was there, and whether that was excuse or reality in their minds, no judgment, but they said COVID have changed everything. Mm-hmm. And they said, because now we've got these new young kids, and everybody goes, I always feel like the old gray-haired guy that wants to yell out the window, goes, hey, get off my lawn, and that's not what this is about, Yeah, exactly. You young whippersnapper. But the point is that it's how you connect with people, and the connection valve that I think is just different now. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think it's how you connect with people. But I honestly think, Chris, it's never changed that much. Connections have always happened when the same vital ingredients are in place. I think the only difference now, Chris, is like, you got older people when they were at school, they were bored at school as well. They used to doodle in their books and they used to draw on their desktops and they used to stare out the window. They just had this culture where they were too afraid to speak up and say, this is boring, I'm not enjoying this, I'm not coming tomorrow. Whereas now we have a generation of people that are not afraid to say that. They vote with their feet. They say, this isn't for me, I'm turning off, I'm switching the channel, I'm swiping, I'm going someplace else. So I don't think that level, it's not the level of disengagement or boredom that's changed, it's the level of tolerance that's changed. And so I think what we've got to do as educators now, and it doesn't matter whether we're educating 50-year-olds or 25-year-olds or whoever we're educating, we've got to be able to match that level of tolerance now and give people stuff. And people say to me, yeah, but we're changing how we do. We're pandering to this new need. It's not about that. What are people looking for? They've got an issue. They've got a problem. They're looking for results. They're looking for results that can help them live their lives more successfully, a little bit less, a little bit more pain-free. And I think with this Teach and Lead program, that's what we're going to do with educators, whether they're seasoned educators or new starters or people that are maybe lost along the way. We're going to be able to share information that gets them the results fast. They don't have to wait until the 6th month to be able to use something. They'll be able to use something after the first hour.
Yeah, exactly. And to that point, I know that I was on a I guess a webinar, et cetera, the other day. We had a lot of industry leaders that were on there, and then they brought me in as well. I think I was there for the comedy relief. But there, Sam Villa said something that was really interesting. He said, what you should do when you're at a show or at an event is take a look at the things that, so it might be, does somebody teach a skill set that you want to learn that skill set, color, design, whatever? But then he says, is if you're thinking about it, take a look at from a presentation style, what are some of those people that are up there, either seasoned or not? What are they doing that they shouldn't be doing, or what is it that really is bringing people together and really truly teaching? And I think that's what we want to really get in here too, as I can honestly say that while I was evolving, and I told that story in another clip that we did, or in the one just before, just on how my beginning started, and I was failing my way. I failed my way to the top, but it took me how to take one piece from here and add that in, and another piece from there and add that in. So, and I think what this is it's an evolution that we can give you where we can cut down the time that it takes you in order to get to that successful future that you really want.
Yeah, get to where you want to be a little bit quicker with a little less pain. But I have to tell people, Chris, there's going to be challenge. I mean, we say that we're going to take people where they want to be a little bit quicker, with a little bit less pain. It's a little bit less pain at the destination, but the process is still going to have some challenge. I mean, this is not going to be an easy program, Chris. We're going to hold people's feet to the fire. We're going to kind of push people a little bit because, what makes progress, Chris, is challenge. People need to be challenged in order to make progress and to break through barriers. So what I'm excited about is we are going to challenge people, but in a safe and supportive way. It's good. I like the fact that it's online. I like the fact that we've got a community working together. I like the fact that people have got access to you and I. I like the fact that they've got these little comfort breaks where they can reflect. But there's going to be challenge there, but that's how you make progress.
Yeah, and it's just the same thing. I mean, for the Olympics just happened. And if you look at their coaches on the sideline, sometimes they've got to hold people's feet to the fire. But if you do it in a respectful way, that it's not like I'm just calling you out. It's just, but if you do it in, you can hit, this is going to sound silly, but there's that whole thing, whether you call it the velvet hammer, the velvet glove or whatever. But, you have to talk to some people and tell them as it is so that they can change rather than just pacifying, and you'll often hear that to people. And Chris, you and I do that with a seasoned group all the time in past programs. Well, they say, just tell me what it is that I want to know. I'm okay with being uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's where I think that if they can get their uncomfortable level, or let me rephrase that, their discomfort level can move up. So they're okay with doing something wrong. Because in our society, as we know, every time somebody makes a mistake, they sort of move down in people's eyes. And so we're always, as pack animals, always trying to, what do we do to look best all the time? And if that means not moving forward, I'll give you another example, is that I was talking to a lovely lady yesterday where I'm going in to do a program with, and she just said that, for years I was in this course and they were talking about profit and loss statements and balance sheets. And I just nodded my head and went, yeah. And she says, I just literally didn't know because I didn't want people to think I was stupid. And that's the same thing as you get your discomfort level up by jumping into that P&L or that balance sheet or that haircut or that discipline in teaching so that you can grow. And the more your discomfort level goes up, the easier it is.
But you hit the nail on the head there, Chris, that I really loved. And you said you hold people's feet to the fire, you give them some challenge, but with care and respect. And I think that's what's been lacking. There'll be people out there that have gone through, you and I have talked about it, this, and I'm going to use air quotes here, I can't believe it, but here we go. Coaching, but it's not really been coaching. It's just been some trainer giving their opinion and sort of tearing them a new one and lambasting them and kind of really they take this methodology of, breaking somebody down to build them back up again. But all they do is break them down and they don't build anything back up. And there are people out there that are scarred and burned because of the coaching that they had, because their feet were held to the fire, but quite literally, and they burned.
Yeah.
So what we've got to do is we have got to give people challenge, and we have got to make them work a little harder and go further than they thought that they could. But we do it with care, support, and respect, because at the end of the day, these people are educators and they're in charge of the future of our industry, Chris.
Yeah. And that's exactly what people to do. And I can't remember who made the quote, but it was that coaches to help to take people further than they ever thought they could get on their own.
Yeah.
And that might be whether you're teaching in a salon and you're teaching one person or two or three people at a time, or whether you're on stage with 50, 100, 200, 3,000 people. Yeah. It's like, how do you learn to adapt to your different environments as well? So I think that's what it is. And if you understand that here we have, and I want to say this blatantly, you have two coaches who do care about people and do want to help people get better. Because I think both of you, I can speak from my end, because I'm a little longer in the tooth, if that's the expression. But, I'm at the part of my career where I'm on the side, and I want people not to have to go through the crap that I had to go through in order to get to where we would call it some form of success. So to me, that's what this is about. It's my end goal and my end game.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. I can't wait for people to join us. And so, Chris, they can reach out to us. They can message me at Chris Moody Hair. They can message you, Coach Chris Baran, or there is a website that they can go to as well. Just it's bit.ly/ so it's bit.ly/ teach and lead beauty.
Yeah, teach lead beauty.
Teach lead beauty.
Yeah, 3 words. Teach lead beauty.
Yeah. Teach, lead, beauty. Yeah, that's it. Great. Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too.